All right. Getting back on the bike again. What a ride though. This is a pretty good little ride. Not a very long ride up here. Where's my key? It's not a very long ride up here, but definitely worth it for the view. I spent more time riding on service streets just to get over here in rush hour traffic than I did actually in the canyon, you know. So we'll see how long it takes to get back to the road. So anyway, for those of you who don't know who Yammie Noob is, basically, I mean, long story short, he is a moto vlogger who rides like an idiot, is what I'll say. And it kind of sucks to say that about him because I think he might be seriously injured or dead right now. Like, nobody really knows where he's at. He hasn't been active on social media, hasn't been active on YouTube. And somebody posted a picture of what looks like his bike getting totally smashed, and a video of him, you know, what we think is him, I think is him now. At first I thought it was like just a publicity stunt, like especially right during the time when all the advertisers are pulling out of YouTube and stuff like that. I was thinking that maybe his thought process was that if he kind of drummed up a little bit of hysteria about whether or not he was injured, then he might get some more views or something like that. Ooh, wow, I just lost all traction on that little patch of dust right there. That was kind of freaky. Anyway, so I was thinking that maybe it was just a little bit of that going on, but I think it's this way still. Yeah, I think it's this way still. But, you know, now that it's been this long, I think he's actually losing more subscribers than he's gaining. So, my thought is, I think that he is definitely, probably hurt. So, you know, it kind of sucks. But the reality is, he drove like an absolute idiot. In multiple of his videos, he suggests that people, you know, on the suggested speed limit, he says that they should double the suggested speed limit for a particular corner and then add 10 miles per hour to it. And that is a little freaking excessive, dude. Like, I understand, like, if you're doing some spirited riding, going fast, and you're super confident, and you want to go ahead and, you know, test the limits a little bit, but that is freaking excessive. That's just going way too fast. Cause like, I'm taking the curves mostly at the suggested speed limits. Like, I've seen a couple of suggested speed limits around 15, 20 miles per hour. And when it gets that low, I take them maybe 25, 30. But he's suggesting that when it's 15 miles per hour, you should be taking it at 40 miles per hour. And that's a little over the top. It's a little ridiculous, especially like if you're leaning, especially on a road like this. If you've got a crazy lean off and you're really, you know, getting into it, my head, if I was really leaning that hard, my head would be in the oncoming traffic lane. So especially if I'm going around a blind corner or something like that, like this one right here, I can't really tell who's out there. Just gonna kind of creep up forward until I can see, and then I'll roll. My head would be in oncoming traffic if I'm leaning over that hard. So I don't know. It is what it is. Like, you know, that's how he rode, and you know, I think he's only 23, 24 years old, and I think he's probably either really seriously hurt or possibly even dead at this point, because the crash that I saw The video of the crash was really, really bad, and they said that it was Yammie Noob. Now I don't know, who knows, but yeah. So I guess those are my, I don't know, this motovlogging thing is like, I get off topic so easily because there's so much like sensory input going on when you're riding a motorcycle. I get off topic really easy, but the reality of it is, if you're riding a bike and you're riding like an idiot, you're speeding, you're ripping wheelies at 100 miles an hour or stuff like that, and you're not wearing a helmet, you're not wearing any of your gear, yes, you are gonna die. You are gonna get yourself killed eventually. It's just a matter of time. But when you're on the other side of it, when the thing that you find interesting about motorcycles is all of the safety gear, all of the safety, all of the parts of riding a motorcycle that make you safe. So like your helmet, like things that I get interested in and excited about are like jackets and helmets and motorcycle gear, stuff like that. I also get really cool interested, and like I nerd out about like statistics of how often people crash when they're one type of person versus another type of person, and then how to not make myself that type of person that generally gets in crashes. That's really the best way I've found so far to regulate my speed, is to kind of drag the rear brake just a touch, just ever so lightly kiss that rear brake on the way down the hill, and that regulates my speed, especially on this big freaking bike. If I give it just a little bit too much on the throttle, then I'll kind of regulate myself out a little bit, and it won't take off on me. Just kind of stabilizes everything. Not heavy. I'll slow down before a big curve or something like that, but I'm not heavy on that rear brake. I'm just ever so slightly kissing it on the way down the hill and on the way around the corner, and it just stabilizes the shit out of my bike. Somebody tell me if this is like common practice. But anyway, I'm just learning this bike, learning all its capabilities, and what gear it likes to do this type of stuff in. I'm gonna go super slow around this curve. Man, that was a really good curve. Oh goodness, what a life we live. It's just kind of one of those days. It's a gorgeous day outside. It's freaking beautiful. Great day to ride a motorcycle. I'm also being extremely careful around all these blind corners, and just kind of slowing down way more than I normally would around those corners. Like I said, I'm not really into riding fast. That's not really my thing. I like riding technical, and I definitely like straight lining it. If I'm gonna go to a racetrack or something like that, I'm probably gonna do a lot of straight line races, drag races, stuff like that. I'm gonna wait to pass this guy until we get to a safe place. And I know there's vehicles on the other side of this blind spot, so there goes that car. Dragging that rear brake just a touch so that I can get around the corners. Interesting. I didn't realize that I was going to be using the rear brake as much as I am. Not for stopping, but for just like for speed control when I'm in the corners. If I use my rear brake to kind of stabilize myself a little bit, then my throttle hand is not trying to grab for brake at the same time as I'm trying to stabilize with the foot. So I don't know if that even makes sense to anybody that's watching, but There's so much to learn about motorcycles. I mean, beyond just street riding, like canyon rides are, you know, freaking fun as hell. I think I just got hit in the knee with a rock. Those don't feel fantastic. I mean, even at these speeds, I'm only going 40 miles an hour right now. Hopefully my video is coherent. Like, I don't even know if it was. Like, I was focusing so hard on riding that canyon ride that I was not even really able to focus on what I was saying. So hopefully the video is coherent and I'll be able to post it. Man, that was fun. I just love motorcycles so much. Something about me. Something must be wrong with me. I don't know. I love motorcycles so much. Give up my left lung to ride motorcycles. Man, these speed bumps are killing me, man. Killing me. I'm gonna have to stop here and take my hat off, and because I've got my hat on backwards right now under my helmet, and my helmet is really well fit. So my hat being underneath it is just kind of like putting too much pressure on my head. Well, that's funky. I don't like that at all. I do not like riding over those spike strips, especially on my motorcycle. Like, I don't know. It's just not a thing that I find fun. Now I feel all crazy and stuff, like riding off fast on the road, 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. I think that my speedometer is broken because I feel like I'm going a lot slower than my speedometer says. Maybe I'm just higher up in this bike than I realize, and that's what it is. Anyway, that was the canyon trails there on South Mountain in Phoenix. So that was kind of fun. Enjoyed that. I'm going to get some fuel. And talk to this Jixer bro here. What's up, man? That was a lot shorter ride than I thought it was going to be.
What was that?
That was a lot shorter ride than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, going up the mountain.
Did you go up to, I already went, I just got down.
Yeah.
Did you go up to the Santas, or where'd you go?
I went up to the main point. And then I rode around.
It's like 8 miles, I think, but it still goes by pretty quick.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it goes by fast, especially if you're kind of moving.
Yeah, yeah. I was
But,
going 40 the whole thing up.
Yeah. I went all the way up to the top, and then I came back down, and I went to the other point. It's off to the other side. But yeah, I didn't spend very much time up there.
Right now, though, it's kind of empty, you know.
Yeah. That's why I came today.